We'll get started. So welcome to another Yoga in Practice. Obviously, just a reminder, I am still doing my teacher training, so just bear with me while I'm practicing some of the poses. So today's session will be fairly similar to what we have been doing. So we'll go through a bit of a warm-up, then we'll move into our sun salutations, work on some standing strength, some balance, then change it up, go into our core, a little bit of back work, and then we'll finish with some hip opening and some twist exercises. So just if you want to start sitting down on the ground, legs crossed, okay? Hands can just be either on our knees, palms facing down or palms facing up. And we're just going to start getting into that nice breathing pattern. So a big inhale through our nose and exhaling through our mouth. Just starting to slow that body down. Once we slowly start getting into that pattern, I just want you to think about starting to slow down that breathing. So I want you to think about inhaling through our nose for 3 counts, holding that breath for 3 counts, and then exhaling through our mouth for 5 counts. So inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Let's go 3 more of those nice, deep, slow breaths. Inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you're ready, just slowly popping one hand on our opposite knee, taking our other hand behind, just slowly starting to open up that chest, giving our lower back a little bit of a stretch. Eyes can be gazing over that opposite shoulder. Again, just trying to maintain that nice slow breathing pattern. And swapping over to the other side. Really opening up that chest, eyes gazing over that opposite shoulder. And slowly coming back to the center. Just going to come onto our hands and knees. Okay, hovering into our child's pose. So we're going to open those knees out a little bit wider, have those big feet or big toes, together, and creep those arms out in front, taking that belly down towards the ground, taking that butt back towards our feet. And again, just holding here in that nice deep breath pose. Again, inhaling through our nose, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more nice deep breath here. And when you're ready, just slowly coming up onto those hands and knees. We'll come into our cat-cow pose, okay? And when you're ready, just come into that cat, arching that back over out. Feeling as if someone's pulling a piece of string in towards the ceiling. And then moving into our cow pose, so pushing that butt back, eyes looking up. Exhale, rounding into that cat pose. And inhale into our cow. So just going at your own pace. Whether you want to hold each one for a little bit longer. Each time, just trying to round out that back a little bit more. Tuck that pelvis in a bit more, poke that butt up a little bit higher with our cow pose. Let's go one more. And when you're ready, just slowly tucking those toes in. We're going to push back into our downward dog. So arms straight and just start slowly walking those feet. Starting to warm up the backs of those legs into those shoulders. It's okay if you can't get those heels down on the ground just yet. Just start warming them up. For 3, 2, 1. And slowly walking those feet in towards our hand and coming up Rightio, we're just going to come up to the edge of our mat, move into our sun salutations. Okay, so feet together, reaching those arms up, and we're going to forward fold down. Inhale, halfway come up. Inhale down and lunging one of those legs back. Knee can come on the ground, sitting up nice and tall. And stepping that other foot back into our downward dog. Hovering that body forward, knees on the ground, and slowly lowering down towards the ground. Pushing up into our upward facing dog. Toes tucking under. Back to our downward dog. And lunging that leg forward again. And stepping that other leg in. Let's go again, other side. So inhale, big reach up. Exhale, forward fold down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding down, lunging that other leg back. And stepping our other leg into our downward dog. Hovering forward, knees come down, slowly coming down. Pushing up into our upward facing dog. Stretching out that back. Toes tucking under. Back to our downward facing dog. That same leg lunges forward. And then stepping in. One more time either side. So going at your own pace. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold, lunging our leg back again, sinking down. Stepping our other leg back, downward dog. Hovering forward, knees come down, lowering down. Pushing up into our upward facing dog. Toes tuck under, back to downward facing dog. And lunging that same leg forward. And our other leg steps in. One more time on the other side. Inhale, big reach up. Exhale, forward fold down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, down, lunging our last leg back. And stepping back into our down dog. Inhale, hovering forward, knees come down and lowering down. Upward dog, really opening up that chest, stretching that back. Toes tuck under, pushing back, downward dog. Lunge that same leg forward. And our other foot, reaching up and hands down to our heart. Okay, we're going to move into our standing strength. Okay, so you can start the same into the mat. I'm just going to come this way so I can see my notes. Okay, I'm going to put those hands down on the ground, stepping back. I'm going to go back to that downward dog. Okay, I'm just going to hold here for a little bit longer. So arms are straight. Okay, we're trying to reach those heels down to the mat as much as we can. Obviously, as I said before, if you can't get those heels down, much like me, that's okay. Just feeling that nice stretch. Head reaching in between those arms nice and straight. Keeping everything nice and strong, just starting to warm up those legs, ready for that standing strength. Let's go 2 more nice deep breaths. And when you're ready, just slowly step in one leg forward. We're going to come into our warrior one pose. Okay, so it's like a back lunge. Okay, this time we're going to grasp or clasp those hands behind, leaning forward, opening up that chest. Sinking and keeping those legs nice and strong. So obviously the more we've got those legs split apart, okay, the more it's going to really have to rely on that strength of those legs to stand up nice and tall. Oops. And this time we're going to reach those arms up. Again, you can either have them clasped or hands apart, whichever feels more comfortable. Again, maintain that same position, holding nice and strong. Staying here, standing up nice and tall. For 3, 2, 1, and slowly taking those arms out to the side, just seeing if you can sink down into that knee a little bit further, standing nice and tall. For 3, 2, 1, bring those arms back up. We're going to reach up and just start to arch that back a little bit. So we're going into that baby back bend, arching back, staying up nice and tall, really holding onto that strength of the leg. And slowly coming down. I'm just going to open up, still staying here. I'm going to start to take that front arm, okay, and taking it down towards that back leg. So just feeling that nice stretch, opening up that chest. For 3, 2, 1, and hands back on the ground. We're going to step back into our downward dog. Hopefully those legs are starting to feel a little bit warmer. You might find that you can take those heels down a little bit further towards the ground. And when you're ready, just lunging that other leg forward. I'm going to go the other way. Okay, so I don't have my back to you. I'm going to go into our warrior 1 on the other side. Okay, clasp those hands behind, opening up that chest. Okay, you might just change the length of those legs apart in that warrior 1. Remember, the further they are apart, the harder it's going to be. Standing up nice and tall. And taking those arms out to the side, seeing if we can sink down into that knee a little bit further. And arms reaching up, either hands clasped or hands just up towards the ceiling, whichever feels more comfortable. And when you're ready, we can clasp those hands and just start arching that back a little bit. Might only be a really small movement, just to really start warming up that back, making that strength of the legs a little bit harder. For 3, 2, 1. And when you're ready, just taking that front hand down towards that back leg, our other arm stacked on top. That's it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hands coming down and back to our downward dog. Okay, we're going to move into our 3-legged dog. So when you're ready, just lifting one leg straight up towards the ceiling. Okay, and holding here. So option 1, we can stay here with that leg straight. Or option 2, we can bend that knee and just open up those hips a little bit over to the side. 3, 2, 1. And I want you to lunge that leg forward. Okay, I have to shuffle it the other way, so I'm with you. I'm going to come into our warrior 2 pose. So this time, one leg facing out to the side, the other leg pointing in towards me. And again, we're just going to lunge in, facing towards the screen, arms reaching nice and long, sinking into that knee. Remember, that knee can come just over those toes, our back legs nice and straight. And we're going to slowly rotate down, popping that arm on that thigh, reaching our other arm out towards the side. Feeling that nice stretch down the side of our waist. Keeping that chest open nice and tall. 3, 2, 1. And still stay in that same position. We're just going to reach both arms over towards the other side. So still keeping those legs nice and strong. One leg still bent, the other nice and straight, and arms reaching over. For 3, 2, 1. Circling those arms down, back down to the ground, stepping that leg back to our downward dog. Holding here. Again, hopefully we're starting to feel those heels start to creep a little bit closer in towards the ground. For 3, 2, 1. Lifting up that other leg up towards the ceiling to our three-legged dog. Option 1, staying here. Option 2, bending that knee and opening that chest out towards the side. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lunging that foot forward into our warrior 2 on the other side. I've done the same thing again. Okay, so making sure the other foot's facing the other way and one foot's facing towards the screen. Knees bent, arms nice and long, sinking in towards that knee, sitting up nice and tall. So obviously the more we sink into that knee, the more our legs are spread apart, the harder it's going to be, really working on that leg strength. And when you're ready, popping that arm on our thigh, reaching over into our extended warrior, still standing nice and tall, keeping that leg bent and our other leg nice and straight. And circling up, reaching both arms out to the side, again feeling that nice stretch down the side of our waist on the other side, still sinking in towards those legs. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Circling those arms down one last time into our down dog, really stretching back. See if we can just get that tad bit lower for this last time. And when you're ready, just slowly walking those feet in towards those hands and come standing up nice and tall. Okay, we're going to work on our balance now, so you can just come to the middle of your mat. We're going to come into our tree pose, okay? So just going to lift one leg up. Okay, we can pop that foot into our thigh. Just push that knee out towards the side. Okay, we're going to reach those arms out in front. I'm just going to slowly tilt forward, and as we do, I'll just do this side on. As you do, just start straightening that leg behind us. Okay, so still staying on that one leg. Arm reaching out nice and long, tilting that body forward, and our leg comes behind. Let's go in the opposite direction. Holding here nice and strong. When you're ready, we're just going to slowly open up those arms, taking our hand down towards our feet, or that foot, sorry, that's planted on the ground. Our other arm straight up towards the ceiling. Okay, into our half moon pose. Holding here nice and strong, trying to open up those hips, opening up the chest. And slowly coming up, bringing those arms out to the side. Staying here into our aeroplane mode. So really working on that balance on that one leg. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming up. Okay, let's go to our other leg now. So lifting up that other leg, pushing that heel out, reaching those arms up, and taking that leg behind, reaching forward, working on our balance on the other leg. Again, try not to hold our breath. Nice deep breaths here in through our nose and out through our mouth. Just do it this way, so I'm not going to have my back to you again. When you're ready, slowly opening up those arms, taking that hand down towards the foot on the ground, opening up that chest, arms stacked on top of each other, keeping that leg lifted up. Slowly coming up and reaching those arms, finishing off out to the side into our airplane mode. Really tilting forward, arms trying to stay up to about shoulder height, keeping that leg lifted behind us. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming down. Okay, going to come up into our baby back bend. So again, okay, reaching up nice and tall, arching that back, keeping those arms in. Hopefully you're a little bit more flexible than me. Feeling that nice stretch in our back. And slowly coming down. Last one we're going to do, okay, we're going to grab one foot with our hand behind, okay, and again, just slowly leaning forward into our dancer's pose, okay. So again, lifting that foot behind, trying to push that foot in towards that hand, tries to lift us up a little bit higher, really reaching that arm in front, working on that balance. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming down. Over to our other side, grabbing onto that foot behind, and when you're ready, slowly leaning forward, lifting up that leg behind us, reaching that arm in front, and again, trying to push that foot against our hand, trying to lift up that foot a little bit higher. And nice deep breaths here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming down. Radio, we're going to come into or down onto the ground, okay, into our hip openers. Okay, so we're going to come into a half lotus. This is going to pop one ankle on top of that other knee or on top of that other thigh. Okay, we're going to reach that arm up and over to the other side, feeling that stretch down the side of our waist, just starting to open up those hips nice and easy. And reach both of those arms up, popping that other hand down by side and leaning over to the other side. Feeling that nice stretch in the back of that leg down and towards our hips. And reaching both arms up, popping those hands down to the side. And I just want you to think about reaching that opposite shoulder over towards the opposite knee. Okay, you might lean forward a little bit, really stretching out those hips. Slowly coming up, taking that opposite shoulder over towards the opposite knee while we keep those hands down on the ground. Feeling that nice stretch. And slowly coming up, swapping those legs over, popping our other ankle on that other knee or other thigh, staying up nice and tall, reaching up and just dropping one hand on the ground, leaning over to the side, feeling that nice stretch, starting to engage that other hip, and over to the other side, popping our other hand down, reaching over, and arms reaching up nice and tall, draw those shoulders down and back, popping both of those hands down, reaching opposite shoulder over towards that opposite knee, sinking down and towards those heels, onto those hips, sorry. And slowly coming up over towards the other side. And slowly coming up. Radio, we're going to come into our swan pose. Okay, so it's kind of like our twisted child pose. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. We're going to thread one hand in through underneath our arm, and we're going to slide, if I can get it right, slide that opposite leg back. Okay, so one arm slides in through underneath our other arm, and the same leg of the arm that's planted on the ground slides back. So option 1, we can keep it here, or option 2, you can creep that hand forward, really sinking back and holding here. And slowly coming up over towards the other side. Okay, threading that arm through underneath our other arm, sliding the leg back, sinking back in towards our heels or into our butt. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, creep that arm forward, straighten it back, and really sinking back in towards those hips. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming up. Last one for our hips. We're going to pop our feet together, okay, like a butterfly. Our hands are going to come behind, okay, and if we can, we're just going to lift up that butt slightly, okay, so side on, okay, you can stay where you are, but just so you see side on, we're just lifting up that butt. We're keeping those heels, not the heels, sorry, heels are staying together. We're keeping those knees out towards the side. So option 1 is to stay here, or option 2, while those hips are lifted, we're opening those knees in and out. Just really stretching out those hips. Remember, if it's too much, obviously just stay there with the hip lift. If it's too much, again, just stay there. Don't need to lift up our hips, so you can choose. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Okay, we're just going to do one small little ab movement. Okay, so we can either be on our back or on our elbows. Okay, we're going to lift both of those legs up into the air. One leg is just going to lower down and draw circles. Okay, so like for those people that have done Pilates with me, like our single leg circle, but this time one of our, or both of our legs, sorry, are lifted up into the air. So option 1, as I'm doing now, we can be on our elbows, or option 2, we can come down to the ground, lying down on our back. Just a really short, quick one to engage that core. Let's go 3 more. 2, 1, and coming down, swapping that other leg up, so keeping those legs up, and start drawing those circles with our other leg. So remembering those options, if you find it's too much on your back, come up on towards those elbows and drawing that circle with our leg out and around. That's it. Let's go 3 more. And last one. And slowly coming down. Okay, last 2 rounds. We're going to come into our core back. Okay, so coming up onto our hands and knees into our kneeling position. Okay, so we're going to come onto our hands. So we're going to thread our arm through, and then we're going to open up that back, taking that hand towards our head. Threading that arm through, opening up that chest, hand towards our head. So just starting to warm up that back, engaging those back muscles as we take that hand up towards our head. So option 1 is to stay here. Okay, just simply threading that arm through and taking that hand up towards our head. Okay, option 2, if we want to make it a little bit harder, we can extend one leg back behind us, okay, and just doing it with one hand on the ground and one knee on the ground, just to make it a little bit more difficult. Really opening up that chest to just see if it feels, that feels a little bit easier on the other leg. Actually, no, it doesn't. I've forgotten which leg we need to do it on. You can choose for this one. I think it feels a little bit better when we have the other leg, or the same leg of the hand that's planted on the ground lifted up. Let's go 2 more. 1, and coming down. Let's go over onto our other side. Okay, so start threading that other hand in through the leg, into the arm, sorry, taking that hand up towards our head. Threading our arm through, taking it up towards our head. So just each time we take that hand up towards our head, seeing if we can open up that chest a little bit more, which is really going to engage those back muscles, warming them up. Remembering, if you want, we can lift up that leg. We have to engage that core a little bit more. Keep the rest of that body still. That's it. Let's go 3 more. 2, 1, and coming down. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to tuck those toes under, coming back, holding into our plank pose. Okay, so up onto our hands, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down into our hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up onto our hands. So, and remember, at any stage, if you need to, lower those knees down, and you can do it with your knees down for 3, 2, 1. Last one, back onto those elbows, knees or toes. 3, 2, 1, and slowly lowering down. While we're still on those elbows, we're going to come up into our downward dog. Okay? And when you're ready, just lifting one leg up. So it's our dolphin pose. So it's like our downward dog, but we're on our elbows. For 3, 2, 1, lowering down, other leg up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming down. Okay, we'll finish off just with a couple of twists. So coming down, sitting on the ground. Okay, we're going to extend one leg out. Our other leg comes over the top. I'm just going to pop our opposite hand on that opposite knee, coming into our seated twist. So it's kind of like what we did to warm up with. Okay, but this time we've got our legs one straight and one bent over the top. So again, eyes just gazing over that opposite shoulder. Nice deep breath for 3, 2, 1, and other side. Extending that other leg long, other hand behind, opposite hand on that opposite knee, opening up that chest, feeling that nice stretch. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming down. We'll just come lying on our back. One last little twist, and then we'll finish off just with a short Savasana. So bringing those knees in, hugging those knees in towards our chest. And when you're ready, just slowly lowering those arms out to the side, dropping those knees to one side, eyes gazing towards that arm that's straight on the ground. Again, feeling that nice supine stretch on our back. And slowly coming up to the other side, dropping those knees to the other side, eyes gazing in the opposite direction. And when you're ready, one last knee hug, drawing those knees in towards the chest. And let's do 3 nice deep breaths here. So remembering that pattern. So inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more times. Inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. And when you're ready, just slowly letting go of those legs, straightening those legs. Okay, arms just down by our side, coming into our corpse pose. Okay, if you're wanting to stay here with us, we're just going to finish off with a short meditation. If you're finished and you need to go, that's completely fine. Otherwise, just lying down on the mat. And I'm just going to talk you through just a short meditation while you're lying down on the ground. Okay, so just place both of your hands on your belly, closing your eyes. Okay, just so you're not distracted by what's happening around you. Begin to concentrate on your breath. Rest your hands on your stomach, close to your belly button. Notice your hands moving each time you breathe in and out. Try not to change anything about the way you are breathing. Even though you're paying attention to it, just keep breathing the way you always do. Notice which part of your lungs fill with air when you breathe naturally. Does the air go right down to the bottom of your lungs, right down behind your belly button? Or does your breath stay mostly in the top part of your chest? On the next breath in, breathe right down deep into your belly, right down behind your belly button, underneath your hands. Your hands are still resting on your belly. Feel your breath moving your hands up and down. When you think about breathing deep into your belly, your breath should start to slow down. Silently in your mind, count along with your breath. 1, 2, 3 on the breath in. 1, 2, 3 on the breath out. 1, 2, 3 in. 1, 2, 3 out. If your mind wanders or if you get distracted for a moment and start thinking about something else, that's okay. When you notice that you're thinking about something else, just bring your awareness back to my voice, to your breath, and to the counting in your mind. Notice how your breath changes when you count in your mind. 1, 2, 3 in. 1, 2, 3 out. 1, 2, 3 in. 1, 2, 3 out. Continue this slow, deep breathing right down into your belly. On your next breath out, concentrating on emptying all of the air from your lungs. Breathing in, breathe deep into your belly. Breathing out, empty all of the air from your lungs. Notice whether this changes anything about your breath. Notice whether this changes anything about how your body feels or the movement of your hands. Breathing in, deep into your belly. Breathing out, emptying all of the air from your lungs. Now that you're doing deep belly breaths, move your mind's awareness to your nose. Can you feel the air moving in through your nose? Can you feel the air moving out through your nose? Maybe the air feels a little colder on the way in and a little warmer on the way out. Or maybe you can't feel any difference at all. There's no right or wrong. These are just more ways you can use your mind to help you focus on your breath. Continue with deep belly breaths in and long, full exhalations out. Can you hear your breath? What does it sound like? Does your breath sound louder on the way in or on the way out? Start to bring your awareness to the rest of your body. Notice the sounds you can hear inside or outside of the room. Notice how the ground feels underneath you. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes to begin, waking your body up. And when you are ready, slowly open your eyes, being aware of the furniture around you or any people. And without talking, stretch out your body. Stretch your neck, your arms, and your legs. And when you're ready, slowly coming up into a seated position. Notice any feelings or sensations in your body. Do you feel different after this mindful breathing practice? Notice how your body and mind may have calmed and focused after spending time with your breath. Namaste.